Okay, Mr. Filippi, I think we have everyone in from the waiting room. So if you want to get started, I'll start the slideshow. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, there it is. Thank you so much, Ms. Feliciano.
You're welcome.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the PAC. This is our opening presentation. It is going to be recorded, so if you know people from the community that are missing it and are interested, we will send it out. If you were on my 3K pre-K K1 yesterday, some of the information will mirror this, but there will also be some new information for students in 1 through 5, specifically 3 through 5, regarding some new changes in policy to state law. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and jump right in. So school hours this year have not changed. We are still in 8 a.m. to 2:20 school, Monday through Friday. Our 3K dismissal begins at 1:50. I don't have to go through all 3K and pre-K. You can kind of take a look because I did do it yesterday. But for kindergarten, dismissal begins at 2:10. First grade and second grade, dismissal begins at 2:15. And then 3, 4, and 5 are anywhere between 2:17 and 2:20. We stagger that to try and avoid congestion as much as possible. Because of the way we're centrally located on Central Avenue, I didn't do that on purpose. It is sometimes hard to avoid, bottlenecking, and we have a lot of double parking, which we ask that people try their best not to do, because then it's hard when buses have to get through. But we understand it's a tough block. So we do our best to kind of control it out there a little bit, but everyone's help is appreciated when you pick up on time like that, because it allows us to make sure, especially the little babies, that they get out and don't get trampled. Because a lot of our 4th and 5th grade big kids, some of them are walkers, and when they get out, they're like shot out of a cannon. They run, they're out of there. They're going home, they're going to play, and we don't want anybody to get run over or hurt. So the best we can adhere to the staggered schedule, the better. Obviously, if you're past 2:20, we will hold your children late. Same procedure, coming in through the 68th place play space, and coming back out through Central Avenue past Agent Ali's desk. So you're not entering Central Avenue if you're picking up late. You're coming to the corner of 68th and Central. Okay, this is the map of the. Oh, go back. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, so this is the map of our arrival and dismissal locations. They did not change since last year. So if you were here last year, you pretty much are familiar with where children are coming. The two exit 1 in the front there is Central Avenue. So if the picture shows you're looking at the doors, that's Central Avenue, and that's still going to be 4th and 5th grade. Exit 3, which is the corner of 69th Street and Central, is also Mr. Cruz's play space. That is kindergarten still. And when kindergarten comes and they arrive, they go in there, they line up with their class, and the teachers bring them up. Same way they dismiss, they come out to you. Exit 4, which is a small hallway out of that play space, is where 3rd grade will continue to arrive and dismiss. Exit 7, we have double there, but it's not double, it's just the doors that are in the playground, and that's 1st grade. They come in through those doors and they're greeted by either Mr. Yu, our guidance counselor, or Miss McNally, our coach. They'll still be there, and they dismiss through those doors as well. We will have the children walk down the ramp again to dismiss, as opposed to on the steps. I think it's a little bit safer, and it worked out well. So parents can line up down that end, and the class will come out. We ask that you don't pull your child off right away. Let the teacher know that you have them and that they see you, because safety is always super important. Exit 6, I went over yesterday with 3K and pre-K. That has not changed. That's at the back of the playground, by the cafeteria doors, by the lunch doors, actually, where the kitchen works. And then exit 5 will remain the busing exit, which is midway down 68th place. If you have a child who comes on the bus, all of the routes have been sent out. I believe the addresses have been confirmed. You can reach out to Miss Tucker if you have any questions. We can put the email into the chat at ltucker9 if we can, Miss Feliciano. Drop that in when you can. I know you're presenting right now. I don't think you can. We'll drop that into the chat, and you can always reach out if you haven't heard yet anything. But if you had door-to-door last year, you will continue to have door-to-door. As you know, OPT is not the smoothest running department of New York City's public schools, but you know, it is what we have to work with to make sure the children are routed correctly. So just, you know, be patient. Sometimes it can be a week if you're a new route, or 2 weeks if you're new to the route. But if you're returning, you should be good to go. Just continue to check in with the bus company and with Miss Tucker and make sure you're good. And then exit 2 there is going to remain for second grade. They come into the play space as well. That's Miss Tao's play space. They line up and up they go with the teacher. In that play space, you'll still be greeted by Miss Anton Giovanni, our reading teacher, and Miss Kathy Schwartz, our AIS coordinator. Okay, attendance and lateness. This is always a priority for us. Our day begins at 8 a.m. Anyone entering past 8:15 will be marked late, and students will be required to sign in late on the iPad at the main entrance. We're going to look to get that going pretty much right at the beginning. We wait a little while to give an attendance the first week or so, because, you know, I understand it's a new routine. It's new for my teachers. It's new for me sometimes, right? You get back in the swing of it, and it takes a little bit. So we're always very forgiving in the beginning, and you know that. If you remember, we do attendance online. So we ask that after the first week, the time that we give in attendance is like 9 a.m. The teachers have it in. So when your child comes in, if they're late past 9 a.m. or even past 8:15, the teachers already marked them either absent by accident or late, whatever it is. If they're marked absent and they come in, when they sign in on the iPad, it gets kicked to our attendance teacher, who can, you know, adjust it accordingly. If you see any discrepancy on your attendance, always reach out to Ms. Feliciano or myself and let us know, or Mr. Frank on our attendance team. Go ahead, Ms. Feliciano. I think we're good there. All right, blue card and emergency contacts. So we don't do the blue cards anymore. You know, maybe someday we'll go back to them, but we just haven't been able to get them as readily. So we use the emergency contact forms that the DOE gives out. Those sheets are like the lifeline to you and your children. So it's always important that the information is up to date and that there are working numbers on that form. Students are only going to be released to people listed on their emergency contact sheets. Now, you know, initially, a lot of our teachers know many of you throughout the neighborhood and have had other children of yours, so they know you. They know you're picking up your child. If there's anything that's changed, we need to know that too. If there's any sort of order, court order, anything like that, super important to be listed on those contact sheets. If there's anybody that cannot pick up your child, so important. And anyone, Ms. Feliciano reminded 3K, pre-K, and K yesterday, anyone you think that you need to put on there in a just in case sort of situation, put them on. Because it's best to be safe. If God forbid, not anybody on that list can't come, you have a neighbor that you trust, whoever it is, put their name on and just make sure they show up with ID. And then also you can fill out the emergency contact information through your child's NICSA account. Ms. Feliciano is the person to help you if you don't know how to do that. Ms. Feldman, am I going too fast? Okay. All right, so reminder, as I just said, always have your ID. We are a safer access school, which is super important, and we're very lucky to be. My wife's school is not. She's a principal in another district, and she does not have it yet. So I'm always telling her, push to get it, because it's changed the way we feel here in this building, especially given the current climate and events, even most recently that take place. It's something that we are on top of. And it's so important that we have those doors, and Agent Ali is at the front to monitor them. Nobody gets in without us knowing who it is. So very, very important, and we're grateful. We're grateful. But make sure you have your ID, because the protocol is he'll call upstairs, give the name, and Miss Sabrina or whoever's in the office at that time will double check it on emergency contact. Breakfast and lunch information. We're still a grab and go school. So students, as they come in from K to 5, grab their lunches, their breakfast, and head upstairs. They have breakfast for the first 15, 20 minutes. They unpack, they watch their morning message, which is how we do the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a news team that newscasts. So they watch it on the Promethean board. We don't interrupt the instruction to announce anymore like we used to. We do it through that, which is just a little bit more in line with this generation that's so tech savvy. And it's a lot of fun for the kids to get up there and present and for everybody to kind of see them. And during that time, they do that and they do their mood meter check-in. We're still a ruler school, so social, emotional, and learning is still super important. And our data has improved so dramatically. And on Meet the Teacher, when we have our virtual presentations, I can gather a lot of that data and I'd like to present on it because I'm proud of where we've moved in terms of, you know, the reports on ORAs, how we've gone from a certain number down to another number. We put a lot of work into it. Our dean changed that scope a lot, Mr. Malella, and our school aides did a great job in the cafeteria, you know, making sure that everybody was sort of respecting one another. So we'll talk more about that, but the lunch periods are a time also for kids to enjoy their food, right? It's important for us that they sit and eat so that they digest correctly, so that they're kind to one another, they build relationships and bonds, and then they go outside and play, or vice versa. They play and then they eat. Recess is always important as long as we don't have a air quality alert or it's not colder than believe it or not, Chancellor's regulations say 32 degrees, which is freezing. If it's above that, kids go out, so bundle them up. If you don't want them outside for heat or cold or asthma or anything, you just have to send a note in to the teacher so that we know and we can alert the school aides to have them somewhere else, okay? The lunch periods changed a little bit this year. Some of the grades stayed the same, but lunch period 1, which is 10:43 to 11:33, is pre-K, 1 and 5, and 3K and pre-K eat in the classroom. 1 and 5 come down to the cafeteria. There's a reason why we put 5th grade at that first lunch, and I'll talk a little bit. Well, I can talk about it now. The reason is that we departmentalized in 5th grade this year, which means one classroom is responsible for literacy while the other is responsible for math, science, and social studies. And the way we did that is simple. We took, if your child's in ICT, they would have Miss Rodriguez and Miss Felton for ELA, and they would have Miss Galafaro and Miss Malarkey for math. So the kids transition during the day, and then they all have their special 7th periods. They have lunch 4th, so the day is not long, and their special 7th. Research shows that this is the best way to target strengths of teachers and needs of children so that the kids are getting a vast experience throughout the week. I am very sure that this is definitely going to yield a lot of success for us. If your child is in Miss Novick's class, they will have math, and if they're in Miss Fleming, they will have reading. So they'll move, they're all on the same floor, they transition to one another. ELA will be 3 periods, math will be 90 minutes. And then in addition to those 90 minutes, they will get science and social studies, regular SEL, all of that. Nothing changes, just that they switch. So when you have your parent-teacher conferences, you are going to have an experience with either 2 or 4 teachers, which is really cool. If your child has on their ATS code, they have 501. That's 509, right? That's Rodriguez and Felton. That's still their homeroom teacher, right? That's still their class that they get attendance taken on, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to talk more about departmentalization. We're going to draft something to send out to the 5th grade parents. But if you have experience with this, or you're in education, or you've seen it before, it is research-based. It is something that we've wanted to go to for a while, and now is the best time. So I'll keep you posted, okay? If you have questions about that, I'm always available. Reach out to either myself or Lisa McNally, our literacy coach, and we can help you with that. I did see a question come up, and 3rd grade lunch is 11:38 to 12:28, and it's not period 3, it's actually period 6 is grades 2 and 4. Lunch period 3, sorry. All right. Okay, next slide. All right, Parent Square accounts. Make sure if you're new to the school, you'll get information on the first day sent home. If not, you can reach out to Ms. Feliciano. Parent Square is the app, as everyone knows, that's returning, that we use to communicate with families. You'll receive school-wide announcements and information, receive classroom announcements, communicate directly with your child's teacher. We ask that we turn off the communication typically between families because we don't want families to communicate with one another that way, just because we've had situations where, you know, it wasn't as kind as it should be, right? So we usually turn that off. And then please communicate directly with additional staff members using that as well. So if you have a question for Ms. Caridi and your child has science, you can get her on there. If you have a question for Mr. Malella as the dean or Ms. Pasajos as the AP, you can reach them there too. So it's a great system, and we paid for it again. We feel it works better than the one that was put out by the city. Although the one that's put out by the city, I heard, fixed a lot of their glitches. But for us, it's just something that the community is used to and seems to like. So we pay for it. Okay, to sign up, you would fill out the Parent Square sign-up sheet that's sent home on the first day of school. I think we have it made already. Or you could send Ms. Feliciano an email at dfeliciano2 schools.nyc.gov, and you can request an invitation. And then if you're having trouble with your Parent Square, contact Ms. Feliciano as well. Ms. Pasajos, also I mentioned yesterday, sometimes is you know, pretty proficient at helping you with those inquiries as well. Okay, so K-5 curriculum highlights. We have not changed our curriculum. We are still in HMH into reading school. Our math curriculum is still in Visions 2.0. We use Passports for social studies. We use Amplify for science. And we are a foundation school K-3. Students in K will be receiving instruction in phonics daily. K1, 2, and 3 receive instruction in phonics daily. Then we supplement the learning for students using Heggerty. And our pre-K teachers actually even use Heggerty. They began introducing it last year, and we're looking to 3K this year. A lot of the work that we do and a lot of this foundational learning that we provide for all the students K-3 up front is used in 4 and 5, right? If a child is in need of that. So we do that during small group time when we try and target individual needs of each learner. But we've noticed that this year we did move about 3% in ELA for our state test, which is, you know, not as high as I was hoping for, but it was growth, right? And that's the most important thing. Our students with disabilities jumped tremendously, and our English language learners jumped tremendously on the state test based on percentage, which is important. And I'm really proud of the work that the staff has put in and the work that the kids have put in, and the climate of the building in general. And of course, all of you supporting that vision at home. We couldn't do this alone, so thank you. But we did move, like I said, and I'm happy about that. And, you know, these programs are really, I think, a huge reason why. We left Teachers College a couple of years ago, and we've adopted science of reading as a philosophy and a methodology for instructing. And we're seeing the benefits, you know, so thank you for that.
I just want to mention on September 17th are going to be evening virtual parent-teacher conferences or meet the teacher. So the teachers will go into more individual class curriculums and how class schedules work and what they're doing as a class. So you guys will get more information on that as soon as we start school.
Right. Also, we will send out information. Ms. Feliciano, isn't there like a save the date for the D24 fair in September?
I haven't gotten anything yet, but I'm pretty sure
I'll let you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I can take a look. So that's that day where they have where we get together in Forest Park, and you know, we're there and our step squad performs, stuff like that. I don't know if they will, if it's in September this year. They changed the date because of rain. But you know, it's a nice day. We'll get information out to you. Just have to find out where. Okay, cell phone and electronic policy. So if you click that, Ms. Feliciano, so everybody I'm sure has questions about this, especially if you're grades 3 to 5, which is where we're assuming this will come into play most. But the electronic policy includes all students using or wearing any communication devices. So this is called the bell-to-bell cell phone policy, and we had to take what we were asked to do based on educational law, which has a hyperlink there. We'll be sending this home day one as well. You'll get it on a paper copy, but we'll send it home, Ms. Feliciano, on Parent Square as well, so people can click the hyperlinks. So effective August 1st, all New York State schools were required to adopt a policy that prohibits the use of personal internet-enabled devices during the school day on school grounds. So an internet-enabled device is defined as an electronic device capable of connecting to the internet, enabling the user to access content on the internet. Examples of such devices include cell phones, smartphones, smartwatches, laptops, tablets, iPads, and portable music and entertainment systems. People ask about like Angel Sense systems, and AirTags are fine. You cannot communicate, but Angel Sense is one where you can listen or hear, and that's also prohibited. So this went into place like you see here, August 1st, and every school had to come up with their own policy. We were funded a certain amount of money to purchase what we would need to make sure that we could store the devices throughout the day. So the policy statement is that students will not be permitted to use or access their personal internet-enabled electronic devices upon arrival at school until the end of the school day. The school day is defined as the period from the moment students enter the school building until the last class of the day ends. That's including lunch. The school day starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 2:20. So students will be able to use New York City public school issued devices during the school day. So upon arrival in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, students have to power off their phones or internet devices. And we purchase lockers, so the students will come in and we will have their devices given to us, and we will store them for the day. So the designated collection point is going to be supervised by staff members, and it'll be set up by the main entrance to the building, which is exit 1, so that's for our 4th and 5th grade students. Exit 4, which is our 3rd grade entrance, and exit 5, which is our bus entrance. That'll be set up between the times of 7:55 and 8:10 a.m. Child has to turn in that device. Okay. Now, if you have a child in K1 or 2 using a watch or any of that, please do not send them with it, or we have to take that as well. Okay. At the end of the school day, all devices are distributed by the school staff in the same spaces, right? We're going to redistribute at about 2:10, depending on dismissal time, through 2:20. We're going to have a system where we, document who gave in their device and who needs to get it back. It is not allowed to be handled by the classroom teacher. It has to be handled by staff outside of the classroom. Teachers, as per their contract, are not supposed to be involved in collecting and redistributing. So we've figured out this as a process where it'll have to happen at the door. Students who were late will have to bring their device to the main office and have it stored there. And then students with approved early dismissal will retrieve their devices in the main office. So if you're picking your child up early and we know that we have their phone, we'll make sure it's there for you when you come. In case of an emergency, this is the important part, because as a parent of a 3rd grader who actually has a phone, my son, and a 15-year-old who has a phone, the important thing for me was, hey, how do I get them, right? Especially my big guy who walks, right? And he plays high school basketball, and I don't know if he's working out or where he is. It's important for me to know how do I get them. So we had to provide the number, which you all know anyway, which is the school number, and that would be how you would contact to find out if your child is okay, what's happening, or if you needed to know something. In addition to that, Parent Square will be your communication point for any kind of access that you need. We'll still continue to communicate with you the same way we would have. The only difference is your child is not supposed to be texting or having use of the internet or camera during the day, and it really is supposed to provide a distraction-free environment. I know that it's split on how we're receiving it, how people are thinking or feeling about the state law, but I think we have to give it a chance and see how it works. The exceptions: students are allowed to use their device if they have an individualized educational program or 504 that includes use of an internet-enabled device and do not have a DOE issued device for such purpose. So that's really no child. Parent guardians must contact Mr. Filippi, myself, that's me, by the way, I just read it, at 718-821-6880 if your student requires an exception for reasons such as medical monitoring, treatments, for example, monitor blood sugar or other similar circumstances. If a caregiver or for approved language purposes, this is all DOE language, not mine. And that anything you ask me, just know it's going to take some time to get an answer because it's such a new thing that I'm not going to just give approval or I have to clear it with somebody above. Okay. But as always, I'll help as best I can. And then I can authorize use for an educational purpose. Again, I would have to get approval. And like it says, exceptions will be processed and approved within a reasonable amount of time. Discipline. So this is all New York City policy, not me, but students who use electronic devices in violation of the New York City Public Schools Discipline Code, Schools Policy, Chancellor's Regulation A413, and the New York City Public Schools Internet Acceptable Use and Safety Policy will be subject to progressive discipline. This means that the disciplinary response will escalate based on the nature and frequency of the violation. As provided in the state law, a student may not be suspended solely on the grounds that the student accessed a personal internet-enabled device in violation of school policy. We will put out what the incremental steps are. I believe they are confiscation, parent has to come get it, right? Or warning. I think the first one was warning. Second one was parent has to pick up, and then third, I think it's not allowed to come back, but I will confirm that when we send this out. If it's lost or stolen, we are not responsible. You would have to fill out a comptroller, a claim using the comptroller's webpage, and that link is there, so that's why we're going to send it virtual. We don't know, we know a little bit more than maybe everybody else, but not much. We would do everything that we can to ensure that your child's device will be safe and stored securely. So don't worry about that. But it is a change, and we just have to let you know about it. Okay, health and safety reminders. Every year, we make safety our priority. We hold required amount of safety drills, evacuation, and lockdown drills. We hold a safety team meeting monthly and reflect on events prior to ensure that we are always pivoting and adapting to make 91 the safest environment possible. Door systems have been installed similar to private schools, which I talked about before. It's our safer access door. The intercom system accompanies the monitor at the door, and all visitors will need to be buzzed in to enter the building. We also have alarms on every door, just like all other DOE schools. And if you have, any health concerns for your child or allergies, please reach out to meet with Miss Marta Pelaez. She is our nurse. On that first day, it's good to kind of make time to, meet with her and provide her with documents or medicine that she needs. Okay, supply lists, if you have been on, great. If not, they are on our website. They always are every year. We release them, I don't know, we did it like August or something, right? Ms. Feliciano, beginning or end of so take a look. It's right on the landing page. Ms. Feliciano made that, so when you get onto the website, it pops right up. And just click your child's grade. It's not really specific to classes, so click that grade and what you can get, great. If not, let us know.
Right. If anyone has any issues with getting school supplies, just reach out. We'll be able to work something out.
Absolutely. ATS codes and keys, class numbers. So on the final report card available through your parent NYCSA account, ATS codes for your child's class were added. So if you see 301, that doesn't mean it's room 301. It means it's class 301. Room 301, class 301, I believe, is room 304. So, that it could be a little tricky, but you're looking for that ATS code, and that ATS code, the teachers will be downstairs on that first day with signs, Ms. Kratzky, ATS code 303, whatever it is. Okay, so look for that. And that ATS code is super important. And you really should have your NYCSA accounts ready at this point. So if you need additional information or need assistance with your NYCSA account, please reach out to Veronica. It's very important that we have, all of you connected, because at the end of the day, everything is going digital. And I think most of the stuff, not just report cards, are distributed that way. So please, the best you can to get online with that would be great.
So
okay, teacher directory.
Yep.
So I'm sure people want to know what class is what. Can I click it?
I have it. It's loading.
Okay. All right, so 3K, pre-K, just take pictures so that you know there are some new names on here. We are we received a grant for smaller class size. We were part of that this year. We put in for it for third grade. So we have 6 classes on third grade, not including Horizon and self-contained. So there's 6 gen ed or ICT classes on third grade. You'll see here we have Miss Zimmerman. You'll meet all these people on our back to school. We probably should send it out on Instagram, like maybe
I was gonna say, I'm also sending this chart out on Parent Square.
Okay,
Today.
and then I think like maybe pictures, maybe we can get pictures of the new teachers on Tuesday and kick them out so everybody's kind of aware, especially if you have first grade Horizon. We have a new teacher in first grade Horizon, and we definitely like to prime the students right away with that. Her name is Jenna Ramirez. She's fantastic. So Miss Tucker is in charge of that. She'll be priming all the kids and families very shortly. But Miss Zimmerman, you can see in 3K. Miss Carullo is not with us anymore. She became a site coordinator, so kudos to her. And you can see some teachers move places. Miss Klein is back to pre-K. In kindergarten here, everybody else kind of stayed the same, except Miss Abel, who taught art, is now teaching with Miss Tavy, and Miss Davis has become art. In first grade, a big one is Miss Heckman down there with Miss Marinos, although she's on leave right now because she had a baby. Congratulations to her.
Sorry, that's Miss Marinos for kindergarten, right?
Yes, it is Miss Mishka now, who everybody knows anyway. She was with us all year last year, and she was Miss Fleischer before she returned. She's phenomenal. So before Miss Heckman gets back, she will be in that ICT class with Miss Marinos. Miss Harris has jumped to third grade, which is kind of cool. And then Miss Chose is still there, Miss Kilbiowski. Miss Ramnarine is a brand new kindergarten teacher, not new to teaching, but new to kindergarten. It's super energetic and excited to be here. So we're happy to have her. And then Miss Chun was one of our self-contained teachers up in 2-3 last year. She is now gone to K1, which is her love. So we're happy we did that. And Miss Mendoza has gone from first grade ICT to kindergarten Horizon. There's a lot of shifting. Take pictures as we go, because if it's the ATS code, it can help you to know what you're doing. In ATS 101, so Miss Daniela Fernandez is brand new to 91, not new to teaching, but new. She will be in there with Miss Morante, who used to be civics, but now back to first grade, which is where she had been for a long time. We do not have civics as a cluster anymore, and I'll show you what we're using, what we brought in. Miss Corsaro is still down in first grade. Miss Einhorn as well. Miss Orlin is brand new to our school, and she is a new first grade teacher. And then Jenna Ramirez, as I mentioned a moment ago, is our new Horizon teacher in first grade. And then in second grade, Miss Capriola went down to second, and Mr. Witt will be joining her in ICT, which is a different grade for him. Mr. Rand has stayed in second grade. In second grade is also now Miss Hodzik, Nani Hodzik. There's 2 Miss Hodziks down there. Don't get confused. Miss Hodzik was ICT third grade for years with Miss Morris. She's now second grade on her own. And Miss Vale is staying in second grade to lead the work down there. And Miss Elvira Hodzik has gone from her Horizon class to second grade Horizon. Okay, she's come over to the other side of the building and is not with her current grade. And then ATS code 301, Miss Pinto has moved from Horizon to ICT with Mr. Lamastro. That's a big change. Then 302, Miss Wallace and Miss Harris. Miss Wallace has left kindergarten Horizon to do ICT kindergarten. Miss Butler, who we all know and love, has left kindergarten to do third grade too. And then we have Mr. Amandolaro, who is lovely and a brand new to our school for third grade. Miss Kratzky is still in third. Mr. Fallerino is still in third. And then Miss Cohen is not the Miss Cohen you know. That's Miss Taub now, our gym teacher. Miss Cohen is brand new to our school, but a lot of experience as a special educator and will be with the self-contained. And Miss Melendez, who was K1 self-contained last year, has moved to third grade Horizon. So welcome, Miss Melendez. Then fourth grade, Miss McAllister and Miss Flynn will remain there to lead that work. Fourth grade was our highest performing grade the last 2 years in a row, largely in part to the work of all the teachers on that grade. So thank you. Miss Maniscalco is new to that grade, and she's coming from pre-K and throwing her hand in the ring in fourth grade. I have a lot of confidence in her. And then Miss Centeno is moving from fifth down to fourth. She's done fourth and fifth her whole career. I think third once a couple of times, but that's really where she's best suited and most comfortable. So she'll be down there this year. Miss Greco is still in fourth grade. The kids did great last year as well. And Miss Van Houten still there leading Horizon in fourth grade. And then grade 5, as I said earlier with the departmentalization, it's Miss Felton and Miss Rodriguez in 509. So if you have 501 as your code, they are your homeroom teacher. But they're only teaching literacy. Okay, and then your kids will transition to 502, which is actually room 502, which goes against everything I said before, but whatever. Miss Malarkey and Miss Galafaro are doing only math. So when they get up, they go there. When they're done with math, they will teach either enrichment, which will be like targeting special needs, like a WIN period, a what I need period, or it will be science or social studies, depending on how much they need that in their schedule. Then Miss Fleming has left second grade and come on up to fifth, so we're excited about that. She taught fifth grade for years. She is departmentalized with Miss Novick, who's been there forever as well, leading the grade. And Miss Novick is teaching math, and Miss Fleming is teaching reading. And then Miss Manzello, one of our Big Apple recipients that we're so proud of a couple of years ago. What's that beeping? You hear that?
I can hear you.
Oh, do you hear the beeping?
Yeah, that's outside. That's outside my window. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I didn't know. Okay, sorry. Miss Manzello, a Big Apple recipient, along with Miss Taub a couple of years ago, will be leading Horizon up there in fifth grade. And then Miss Morris has moved from third grade ICT to our self-contained 4-5. So that is all our teachers. I don't think we have clusters on here.
No, I didn't put the clusters on here.
That's fine, no problem. So what I was going to say is, in lieu of civics, Miss Barth, Kimberly Barth, we've brought her on. She is a theater drama teacher. So we're going to have theater and drama as another class that can service kids and clusters. She's going to mostly do the upgrades, but I do believe every kindergarten has her as well. So your child will maybe not have every cluster, but they'll either have music or art or theater. They will definitely have phys ed. They will definitely have science. Lower grades are still Miss Ruiz. Upper grades are still Miss Caridi. Upper grade PE, and so actually PE is a little split. It doesn't necessarily mean upper or lower, but Mr. Cruz and Miss Taub still there. Miss Barth for theater, Dr. Lopez for music. Who am I missing? Oh, Miss Davis for art. And here's where it gets really confusing. Miss Nacarado is now Miss Davis also. So there's two Miss Davises. There's technology and there is art. And then we, of course, have Mr. Mercado for robotics. He will be housed this year. We had to move him to make room for Mr. Amandolaro and the extra third grade classes. So he is in the new media center, which we still don't have tables and technology for, but we have desks for the kids. But we're supposed to have that. There's a contract dispute between SCA, and which is School Construction Authority, and I guess the Department of Education. So we haven't gotten all our stuff yet, but the room is finished and is beautiful. Okay, thank you. Next. Early arrival program. We let kids come in. We start at 8, so we let children come in around 7:35. Thank you, but you will be signing up for that, and we have a limited amount of space because we don't have staffing to cover it all. And unfortunately, it's only K-5 at this time, because we cannot cover the little ones at that moment. We also changed on Mondays our SBO, so teachers are starting at 7:30, but they're starting for work, not for anything I can use them for that way. So we rely on like school aides and whoever we can at that time, administrators. So we will be in touch with that probably the second week of school. a list will go out and you can sign up for that. And then we'll hopefully start it by the 3rd. Okay, DYCD and Greater Ridgewood. This is amazing. For years, we've used to please make us a free Greater Ridgewood after school program. This year, under the guise of our new superintendent, Mr. Anthony Rivera, who's amazing, by the way, he seemed to have been able to make sure that we were on that list. And we are so happy to welcome Greater Ridgewood again back to 91 because we have a long-standing partnership with them. And they are really the heartbeat of this community when it comes to community-based organizations. Bob Monahan, and I see Miss Janine Mahone is on, and I think Miss Caressa is on. I didn't see her. But Miss Caressa Abe is our new director. She's incredible. Miss Pasajos and I met with her the other day. So we're gonna probably stop here and open up some questions while we have Miss Janine available if there's anything I can't answer. But if it's important to know that the registration opens, I think, September 1st. And it's going to be sent out via email or via Parent Square. So if you're not a Parent Square member and you're a kindergarten parent or new to the school, you want to reach out to Ms. Feliciano immediately and just see that she emails you the link once we put it up. In terms of selecting students, I have not discussed with Bob yet how that's going to happen. I think typically it's first come, first serve is how they are selected. But Janine can answer some of those questions. Then program activities are to be determined. Miss Abe and I spoke about it, and it's really contingent upon like staffing for her too, and like what abilities people have. But Janine, if you'd like to answer anything or speak a little bit on something I didn't say, that'd be great.
Sure. We will be sending out a flyer with the registration link on September 2nd because September 1st is the holiday, but you could go into Discover DYCD. They should have some information there. We can't do a first come, first serve because we have to take a certain amount from each grade. So, okay. Usually we do a lottery, as some of you know, from summertime, but it will also depend on how many students apply for each grade. So we are going to do our best to accommodate, as many people as we can. And we are anticipating a September 15th start date.
I'm just typing it in the chat. I'm just typing some of what you say in the chat.
Yeah. We are very excited. We're happy to be back as a free program. Carissa is great. She has some great ideas. It's going to be a lot different than last year. There's going to be, more hands-on activities, project-based, community involvement, community projects. So we're pretty excited about it. And everybody, feel free to call our office if you have any questions. But again, we will have a flyer sent out on Tuesday, and it will have the link where you can go online to register.
And Janine, I think it's 123 students, correct?
Yeah, I think we figured out the numbers where we could probably go up to 140. We could over enroll by a certain percentage. So we are hoping that we're going to take the max that DYCD will allow us, which I think is 140.
Perfect. One of the cool things about Carissa is that when we've had, summer school here the last 2 years ago, not this year, but 2 years in a row, I think she did like STEM and stuff like that. So her knowledge is really interesting about academics too, because part of what we want to partner with Greater Ridgewood with is really running our scores better, right? Improving our students' academics, reading and science and math, and so it all kind of connects together, which is really beautiful. So I'm really over the moon about it because I know that this community has wanted that for a long time, and it's great to have it back. Since I've been here, we've had good directors and a great partnership, but it's hard. It's hard for some of the families to continue to make that payment. So this is really incredible. It's really incredible.
We at Greater Ridgewood appreciate Mr. Filippi because it was really his advocacy that helped to get the program free into the school. So we really thank you. We're so grateful for your partnership.
Thank you. Me too. All right. So anybody have questions for Ms. Janine?
I do. Good morning.
Who's that?
Good morning.
I'm a parent. This is Jessie McVeigh's parent. My name is Miss Benjamin.
Hi, how are you?
I have a question. I'm eager because I've been calling Greater Ridgewood for the last week now. So thank you for saying September 1st, because I didn't get any information. I wanted to ask, you said it's certain grades only have certain amount of kids. So when it comes to second grade, how many kids are allowed as second graders?
So each group, so we can have up to 7 groups, and each group have 20 students, same as in the school day. So, and again, if we have a majority of second graders, then we can have 2 second grade groups. We won't be able to determine that until we see how many applications are in the online system.
Okay. Next, is it a fee-based program again?
No, it's free.
No,
Okay. So that's the reason for the changes of the amount of kids, etc. Okay. I was wondering. Okay, appreciated.
No problem.
no problem.
I was very concerned because my life revolves around you guys. And I appreciate you guys because
We
mama still works
appreciate
when
you.
school gets out.
We appreciate
So
you.
thank you. Okay, that's all.
Anybody else?
And anything you have that you think of later, you can always email us and we'll reach out to Greater Ridgewood and they'll,
Yes.
help us with what we don't know.
And we'll put Carissa's email in the flyer as well, and she'll be able to help you too.
Perfect. Thank you.
Excuse
Thank
me,
you.
can I ask something? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Hello?
Yes, of course.
So I have a question. Is there any requirements to get into after school? Because yeah, like as a working parents, we kind of worried this it's been always like paid after school program, and we were, I think, at least I was fine with that, but I knew my kid's gonna get into it. It's like how can we be sure that our kid's gonna get into the after school program? What's the requirements if there's a free
actually-
program?
There's no requirements. It's equitable and it's open to every family in the school. Every family is able to apply. And again, we have to see how many people have applied, and based on the numbers in each grade is usually we do a lottery.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Janine.
Thank you for having me.
All right, of course. Thank you. Anytime. So anything you guys have, just reach out if you don't think of it, and if you think of it later, and we'll reach out to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey. All right, Miss Feliciano, this is. Where are we? Oh no, I start controlling it. Hello? Oh, there it is. I lost you for a second. All right, sorry. PTA, getting involved, PTA. So the executive board is all new and we want to welcome them. We're excited for that. 2025-26 board is Anna Kanadanovich for president, Brian Rendon as treasurer, and Mariana Robles as recording secretary. I want to thank them publicly. They are going to be here on the first day to surprise the teachers with breakfast, which is really sweet, and we look forward to seeing them. Please make sure that you get involved with them. They're open to involvement. They want to see as many of you here as possible for anything that you can do, right? If you can't donate a lot of time, just a few moments is great for one event. Your kids love to see you here, and I love to see you here, and we all do. So if you're looking to sign up for anything, email them at pack91pta@gmail.com. SLT is our school leadership team. I don't know if we have openings this year. I'm not sure. But be on the lookout for information regarding that in September and October. Our PAC is our Parent Advisory Committee, and that's because we're a Title I school where we sit and decide what we want to spend the Title I set-aside funds for or on. We've spent it on Parent Square the last couple of years. It's usually the way we go because it is the thing that we have that connects most to the community and to the families. So, be on the lookout for all that great stuff, please. These are the important contacts. There's me, Miss Basajos, Miss Feliciano, the nurse, Our guidance counselors for upper grade is Mr. Frank and lower grade is Mr. Yu. And then our dean is Mr. Malella, who might not be starting with us because he will be on paternity leave. He just had a little boy. Questions are all open. I'm just going to write back to one person in the chat. The first day of school is a full day, 3K to 5. Believe it or not, 3K and pre-K are full days now. Any questions, you can write them in the chat. You can come off mute however you want to do it. I know I wrote back to one parent. Hi. She may have exciting news for us too at some point, but I'll let you know. I'll talk to her about something fun for second grade. But I wrote back that email. Perfect. If there's any questions, please take a minute, think. I'm off of mute. Or no, there is okay, so somebody wrote, no, there is no fee for the after school program. Now that it's called a DYCB program. So we are free to anyone who participates. It's just a matter of how, you know, if they have enough seats for everybody to get in.
Hi, Mr. Philippi. Good morning. It's Gina Liberta. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. I hope everybody had a nice summer. I was just wondering, I think I missed it. For the Horizon kiddos, are they still coming out on that I think that's 69th place on the slide, or is it
That thing,
the other?
still, that's still the bus or walker for Horizon exit. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. When we
I
find out.
recorded this session, so we will post it up on Parent Square. I'll try to get it up by the end of today. If not, definitely I'll do it over the weekend.
Yeah, so Ms. Feliciano, I think a lot of people maybe missed the beginning because you have a question about what exits are for which grades. We have the graphic. And then the list of third grade classes, we have that too. So just flip back to the classes and the map. So if once you get it, they can take a picture of the classes.
Okay, here's the map.
Here's the map. So take a picture of that. You can see pre-K is in the back of the school with 3K. Busing is exit 5, and that's all Horizon. Second grade is exit 2. Third and fourth and fifth are main entrance. Kindergarten is exit 3. Fourth grade is third, and exit 7 is first.
And the next thing was the class codes, correct?
Class codes, yes. So did we take a picture? Just give them a second to make sure they snap a picture.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
And then third grade.
Do you see, is it projecting correctly?
It's 3K right now.
Okay, so I'll leave that for a few minutes just so you can take a picture if anybody wants. But again, I'll send this out via Parent Square as well.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry. There was one question I was trying to answer. About GPS. So yeah, so the watches, no, they're not allowed. They have to turn them in and turn them off and give them in, and then we'll give it back at the end of the day. The air tags are okay because you can't communicate with them, but the watches are internet enabled. And that's the problem. I wish I had a better answer for you, but they're supposed to turn them in. Right. I think you're on 5th grade.
Yeah, I scrolled through.
Oh, you did? Okay. I got a call, that's why I didn't know. Angel Sense, does that include the tagging one? We have no communication on it. It's the GPS device, not the watch. So Angel Sense is is a tricky one. I would have to put you in touch with like my district AZ. They're not supposed to be used because they're able to listen in to conversations, which is how unfortunately, it's used in many cases. If it's just GPS, it's fine. If it's just like an AirTag, but I have to find out, and we could talk offline about it. It's a great question, but I know that it's never been allowed. But I think that people do it anyway, and we don't really say much. But now that they're cracking down on it, it's kind of something that we've brought to the attention of our district, because I know with our, with certain programs we have here, I know that there are a lot of children that use stuff like that. So I know it'll be a shift, but I would have to get somebody to kind of speak about it, maybe in a different forum, and to help some families out with that.
I'm gonna put my email once again in the group chat. If you weren't able to get onto your Nixa account and you can't find your child's ATS code or know what class he or she is gonna be in, just send me a message. I will help you out as much as I can. I'm facing a little bit of backlog, so it might take a day or two, but I will get back to you.
Thank you, everyone. I really look forward to seeing you all in a couple of days. Enjoy your long weekend. We'll see you back at the PAC on Thursday, but we'll be back here Tuesday and Wednesday if you have questions. It's great to connect with whoever was on. Thank you for being here. Ms. Feliciano, thank you. Ms. Feldman, as always, thank you. And we will see you all, like I said, back at the PAC Thursday morning. That's it. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, everyone.